Her name is Sarah FETTERS, class of 2008. Sarah, a Maumee, Ohio native, is one of the finest middle infielders ever to play softball at Wittenberg University. More than a decade after graduating from Wittenberg, FETTERS still holds the program records for career hits, at-bats, doubles, and she stands second in assists and third in runs scored. Sarah earned all conference honors following each of her 4 seasons at Wittenberg, and she added a pair of all Central Region awards. Sarah was named Team Most Valuable Player 3 times. Sarah was also a standout in the classroom. With almost a 4-point GPA, FETTERS was the 7th 2-time academic All-American in Wittenberg history. Think about that, 2-time academic All-American, we've only had 7. Please join me in welcoming Sarah FETTERS to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor.
I've spent a professional lifetime working with collegiate student athletes and administrators, preparing them to deliver in public speaking moments like this. And the greatest advice that I ever gave any of them was to follow the 3 B's. Be funny, be brief, and be seated. We'll see how well I can follow my own advice. Just start the watch now, we'll be good to go. I didn't come to Wittenberg to get into the Hall of Honor. I came to major in math, minor in education, and help our softball program to win a few more conference championships along the way. I stand here before you this evening having done actually none of the things in which I came to do, and now doing the thing that I did not intend to do. But that's okay, because Wittenberg gave me something far greater than my 17 or my 18-year-old self could have ever envisioned. When I think of Wittenberg, I can think of a 6-hit game. I can think of us scoring 3 runs against Allegheny within about the first 4 pitches of the game. I can think of faking a throw home and tagging Aaron Porter out at second base with Dennison. But those aren't the first things that I think of. You see, my Wittenberg and my memories of Wittenberg are laughing on bus rides or van rides when we had to ride in the van, eating team dinners, sleeping at all sorts of angles and hours on the bus on the way to Florida to begin our season, and group texts that can span nearly 2 decades now. There's something so special about being a college student athlete. It's a group of people experiencing the exact same thing at the exact same time and doing it together. Now, while we may not be going through the same daily workouts or daily practices that we were then, we're still doing the exact same thing, supporting each other, rooting for each other, helping each other carry the load that is life. So here's to my teammates, by far my greatest victory as a Tiger. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Next, we have Brad KASSNER, class of 2005. Brad, a Circleville, Ohio native, was a dominating offensive lineman who cleared the way for 3 of the top 9 scoring teams in Wittenberg football history. Brad earned 4 letters, was a starting offensive guard and tackle for 3 of those seasons. Brad earned his first team conference honors for the North Coast Athletic Conference following the 2002, 3, and 4 seasons. Brad was also an All-American his junior and senior years. Brad was a two-time team captain, and he was the recipient of the team's prestigious Bill Edwards Golden Helmet Award in 2003. He was later recognized by the NCAC with inclusion of the 30th anniversary All-Decade Team 2004 to 2013. Please join me in welcoming Brad KASSNER to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor. Don't hug me too hard, you'll break me in half.
Well, thank you so much. I'm incredibly honored and thankful to be here today. I think most of the student athletes here would echo me in saying that the truth of this athletic career at Wittenberg, and really my life so far, is really the culmination of many, many different people's influence. First off, I wouldn't be here without two parents that worked 3 jobs between them to give me as many opportunities as possible. I also wouldn't be here without the support of my friends and teammates, particularly my housemates, guys that would push me, that we push each other, in Rob Page, Tim Ward, and Joe Torrance. And of course, it helps to have the best position coach in college football in Joe Fincham as my offensive line coach. When I came in as a freshman, the senior class, as I was coming in, was 30-0 in the regular season. I mean, dominant. 3 straight NCAC titles. I think it was 4 straight at that point. We had a bunch of guys that were tremendous leaders, guys that I still look up to in Tim Doust and Matt Leisure and John Hauser and Mike Aljancic and a whole host of other people. One of my most striking memories at Wittenberg was when it was September, and as a freshman I was still recovering from the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life, football camp. Okay? This was before there were limits on the amount of time that you could have in practice. We were just out there constantly. You know, we were out there all the time. We always had to be on. School had just started, and I was about to head to my 9-10 economics class when I received a text message from my roommate telling me to turn the TV on. It was September 11th, 2001. I remember watching the news until practice that afternoon. And we started practice, and it's the most quiet I've ever heard a group of 120 college guys. And this is a good football team. I mean, we were expected to win the conference again handily. We were in the middle of practice doing our normal thing, kind of going through the motions, not very spirited, when all of a sudden you hear boom, boom, boom. And we look up, there's dead silence on the field. And you see fighter jets flying overhead, okay, flying around a large plane that says United States of America on this side. All of a sudden you hear cheering coming across the practice field. Okay, this is out by where the steamer's at right now. Followed by chants of USA, USA, USA. It's one of the most surreal experiences of my life. And I think as we went through the rest of that season, we actually ended up losing for the first time in 4 years that week. The leadership that we had within that team, within the coaching staff on that team, kept it together. We were able to go down to Texas and win some playoff games. All right, actually a tremendous season for us. But it always struck me how that type of leadership, that much focused, kept that group of players together. I know I'm limited by time here, so another story from my time that's a little bit more inspiring. I'm a football coach, so I deal with young people all the time. A lot of these stories have been echoed over the years to a new audience. I'm sure some of my students have heard the same story multiple times. I've got students now that are doctors and lawyers and in elective offices in different places. So these stories are echoed throughout the community. One of the stories, if you don't know Coach Fincham, he had pretty exacting standards for the players that he had underneath him. And he's definitely not somebody that you would want to disappoint. One of those standards was to be on time to team functions. We had morning conditioning at 7 in the morning leading up to spring practice. Here I am, a returning senior, returning all-league, all-American, all whatever. And I'm giving a ride to my housemates to practice. And when we arrive up here, there's no parking. There's an event going on. And the last thing you want to do is get on Coach Fincham's nerves. So I drop my housemates off at the front gate. I go to find my parking. I run up here to the weight room. Actually, we were meeting here in this room back before this was this beautiful facility. And I get kicked out of practice. Here I am, supposed to be the guy for this group of players, and I'm the one that's in trouble for not being at practice on time. The standard is the standard here at Wittenberg, okay? Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you've done before, you have to meet that standard every time you put on Wittenberg gear, every time you tiger up. It's one of the things that I've carried with me through the years, and I've repeated this numerous times to football players that have kind of gotten the big head a little bit, that it doesn't matter necessarily where you're at right now, it matters the direction that you're going. And I think that's one thing that I learned in my time here, is how to be a leader, how to coax people into doing more than they think they can do, and how to inspire people to be better than what they think they can be. I think, you know, it seems so long ago, there's numerous memories I could talk about up here. I think the most important accolade that I ever received was to be elected as a captain twice, okay? Not something that happens very often. Some of my teammates had gotten that honor as well, because it just meant that you were doing the right things during the off season, meant that you were doing the right things during the season as well, okay? I think this honor, it's not everybody can earn this, okay? This is something that I will cherish always. Thank you.
Yes. My dad was a good football player there. Next, we have Mary PFEIFER, SOVA, class of 2012. Mary, a native of Dublin, Ohio, is one of the greatest distance runners in the history of Wittenberg women's cross country and track and field. Mary added top 20 finishes at the Great Lake Regional Cross Country Championship races in each of her 4 years at WIT. Mary's personal best was a 7th place finish in 2011. Mary qualified for the NCAA Division III championships 3 times and turned in top 100 finishes each year. Her best national finish was 67th in 2009. On the track, Mary held Wittenberg's indoor school records in the 3,000 meters and 5,000 meters for more than a decade, and she continues to hold the record in the outdoor 10,000 meters, a record she set in 2011. Mary won the 10,000 meter race at the 2011 NCAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships, and she finished 3rd in the same event in 2009 to earn a pair of all-conference accolades. Please join me in welcoming Mary PFEIFER, SOVA, to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight. I'm truly honored to be inducted into the Wittenberg Hall of Honor. I wouldn't be standing here tonight without the support of my family, friends, and coaches. It was actually my parents who inspired me to run. My dad ran cross country in high school, and when I was 10, my mom ran the Columbus Marathon, which I thought was so amazing. And I thought, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too, right? But seriously, my parents have been and continue to be my biggest fans. They traveled across multiple state lines multiple times just to see me run. My dad even became the official, unofficial team photographer, taking pictures of me and all my teammates so parents that couldn't make it could still see their child run. I'd also like to thank Coach Penny, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. He's a big part of the reason that I chose Wittenberg. I still remember my first visit to Wittenberg on a cold, gray November day. Coach showed me and my dad around the campus himself. Now, I may not have been the most coachable athlete, and he repeatedly said that I was the reason for his gray hairs. But he was truly the most caring and supportive coach I've ever had. And I have to thank him for introducing me to the team. Unlike all the other schools I visited, I immediately felt a connection with this team. I felt like I belonged. Most of my fondest memories revolve around Wittenberg and running. I've made some lifelong friends who have supported me and cheered for me on and off the course. I am so grateful for them. I'd like to dedicate this to all the runners out there, past, future, and present. Running is simple. You push off with your right foot, you push with your left foot, you propel yourself forward. But something I've learned across my journey, and perhaps the secret to my success, is that you need dedication and grit. Showing up every day, putting in the miles and running the drills. That's how you make progress. Thank you again for this amazing honor. I am truly grateful to be included in the hall with such amazing athletes. Go Tigers.
Great job. Congratulations again. Next, we have Jeff Roop, men's and women's golf head coach from 2008 to 2017. In 10 years as head coach, Jeff, a native of Grove City, Ohio, brought Wittenberg men's golf back to national title contention, and he established a women's program as one of the best in the nation as well. In Jeff's third season as head coach, the men's team won its first of 8 straight NCAC titles under his direction. He was named North Coast Athletic Conference Men's Coach of the Year 7 times, in addition to Great Lakes Region Coach of the Year in 2014 and 2015. The Tigers advanced to the NCAA Division III tournament each year from 2010 to 2017 and won a national title in 2017, the first in program history. Between the men's and women's program, Jeff led the Tigers to a whopping 70 team championships, 11 NCAC team championships, 67 individual all-conference accolades, 48 individual medalist performances, 22 individual All-American awards, and 7 individual NCAC Player of the Year honors. Jeff is currently the head coach of the men's golf team at the University of Toledo. He has led the Rockets to 3 top 3 finishes in the MAC and has earned MAC Coach of the Year honors once, and he has guided 2 players to individual league championships and appearances in the NCAA Division I tournament. Please join me in welcoming Jeff Roop to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor. Congratulations.
Hug, right? I thought we were going to hug. There we go.
Okay, good job.
All right, good. Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, first of all, I want to apologize. My red left the closet about 7 years ago, so I apologize that I'm decked out in blue tonight, but the team gets in the van tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we go back to Toledo, had to have some blue, but never fear, I've always got a little bit of red on, so we've got something good here for you. Yep. My first thought when I got the call from David was, man, what an incredible, incredible honor this is. And then I thought, when I got an email from Holly that we had 3 to 4 minutes to talk, it's like, how am I going to fit 10 years of golf, 2 teams, and essentially 200 players into, one thank you speech in the period of 4 minutes? So I've been practicing really hard, and if you time me, I'm going to say every one of their names right now, all 200 of them in a row. I'm not really. I've had other things to do, but you can understand what they meant to us and how important they were and how important they are. We've had just an amazing group of people. 2 of them just got engaged. Men's team and women's team, 2 of them just got engaged after dating since 2017. So changing lives on and off the golf course, obviously. But we're so thankful for everything they accomplished here. And your honor today really is it honors their accomplishments. As thankfully, we would be up here if I had hit any of the shots. If I'd hit any of the shots, this would not have happened. Thankfully, they hit all the shots. You're really honoring them today, so I thank you for that. I do want to thank a couple of people specifically who helped me get up here. First of all, my family, my father who taught me golf. My mother was an educator, and so she taught me how to deal with everything outside of golf. My daughter, who as soon as she was born, and I kid you not, she was born, we were during the season, that little bassinet, little bin that they put her in basically under the heat lamp, almost an incubator. The first thing she did was flash a W. That was the first thing she did. I have no idea how. It wasn't staged, but she did it. And then my wife, who is the absolute, best golf wife around, she even took it to tonight. She said, you're gonna thank Andy too, aren't you? You're gonna make sure you thank Andy. So yes, I am thanking Andy. Andy, my assistant coach for 10 years. To be able to put up with me for 10 years that's pretty amazing. And as some of you who were here when I was here, you know Andy putting up with me for 10 years that's quite the accomplishment right there. So thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Pat Klaus, who's not here, but was instrumental in bringing me to Wittenberg. Fantastic. Garnett Purnell was my first athletic director, and took a chance on a kid who basically was coaching high school golf at the time, and took a chance and really supported me. Ryan Maurer, who's in the building somewhere, absolute, makes you look better than anyone possibly could. Fantastic SID for us. Karen Hunt, who was here at my time, she helped me get the right kids here. And all of you know that is huge, having the right people around you. So that was instrumental. And here are 3 names that, if I had to put a list of names that, of all the people who were really helpful for me, you probably would never have guessed. One of my best friends at the university was Steve Ridenauer. And if you remember Steve was our shipping guy. Steve was the guy who I gave all the packages to, brought them to me. I saw him on a daily basis. We were the best of buddies because he helped me get stuff to our donors, get stuff for our team. He was the guy that was the infrastructure of the university. Marcia McGill, who remembers Marcia from the mailroom. Marcia and I were stuffing envelopes late hours at night, all the time, sending out donor information, sending out recruit information. She's someone who made a difference in my life. And someone who hated me with a passion for the first 6 months, I'm sure, was Cookie Hegman, who processed all my gifts for us. And by the time she left, she was my biggest fan. Sent me emails when I was at Toledo. We worked together. We raised money, we built a program, we brought in good people, and more than anything, you just need to surround yourself with good people. Wittenberg's good people. So, thank you very much. Tiger up. Thank you.
Call you next time I'm in Toledo.
Yeah, you bet.
Next, we have Ed Teague, class of 1975. Ed, a native of Worcester, Ohio, was a versatile standout who won 3 letters while competing for the Tiger football and men's lacrosse team. After overcoming an illness that took him out of the starting lineup, Ed was a key contributor to the undefeated 1973 football squad that won the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl, the first ever Division III national championship game. Ed followed that with a tremendous senior season that culminated with several individual awards, including First Team All-Ohio Athletic Conference, the team's Bill Edwards Gold Helmet Award, and First Team All-American Lutheran Brotherhood All-American. On the lacrosse field, Ed picked up the team's Most Improved Player Award in 1973. He earned his first All-Midwest Lacrosse Association honors twice, and he served as the team's captain in 1975. Please join me in welcoming Ed Teague to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor.
So thank you, Sean. It's an honor to be here tonight. My wife Sue and I often make this trip back to Ohio from Seattle, where we currently live. And even after 40 plus years of living on the West Coast, Ohio still feels like home. People have a graciousness that is unmatched in this part of the country. And we cherish our visit here to Wittenberg, where we first met 48 years ago. The number of memories Sue and I have of this place would make one feel wealthy when it came to the good old days. I am thankful for the ability that God gave me to contribute to the lacrosse and football programs of Wittenberg University. During the time I played here, both programs had tremendous student athletes. I was honored and humbled to be on the roster, and in my remarks tonight, I'd like to first acknowledge my teammates. I cherish the relationships I had with my teammates, many of which I am still friends with today. These individuals, as well as many others, contributed to the developing of great teams that passed through here in the 1970s. If life had a highlight reel, I would have many special moments captured with those who played on the field with me. No one ever remembers their stats, or at least not the good ones, or even the prestige that came from victories. But what you do remember are the relationships you shared with the guys around you. And in many ways, together, we were learning to fine-tune our athletic ability, skill, and even more so, we were learning about life together and how to navigate what life throws at you, the good and the hard. In those years on the field with other men I played with, we had a bond that brothers share because we were learning that life was so much bigger than the game that we had grown to love. We were learning things like persevere through the unexpected, the discipline required breaking any ceiling that was placed upon us, that failure required bravery, that winning required grace, that discerning priorities meant that there was an inventory taken of what mattered most to us. These, as well as many others, shaped us and molded us, and this process lived out amongst our friends and teammates brought you as close as brothers. To this day, some of my teammates are those I've shared some of the most meaningful days of my life with, and I thank each one of you. And then there were the coaches, Dave Maurer, Ron Murphy, Coach Rosencrantz, and Coach Farney, who had the greatest impact on me. They were and are great men, and they invested in their players, and not only helped them develop into great athletes, but even better people. They helped us see what we could be, rather than what we were. And they built pathways for us to get there. A championship team is always led by a championship coach. I had a great coach. I had read that a great coach is always hard to find, but he's even more impossible to forget. Unfortunately, Coach Farney and his wife Jan are unable to be here tonight, but I wanted to say I couldn't be more grateful to God that he put him in my life so many years ago. Coach Farney, I hope you know the words I speak of you tonight could be reiterated by hundreds of others, numbers of lives you've invested in, and that's heroic. You are in the Hall of Fame of many people's life stories, and your coaching legacy is rich in more ways than you'll ever know. And then my dear wife, Sue, who is here with me tonight, she's now the coach who gives the pep talks. She encourages me to always look forward and humbles me in the 7th decade of my life. We've all faced the peaks and the valleys in this story called life, but as we reflect back on the years that have passed, Sue and I can't agree our time at Wittenberg was a great chapter. I am thankful for her love and for my daughter's loves, and she's a great woman, and I want to honor her tonight. 2 more people I want to honor are my parents, Marlon and Howard, my 3 brothers, Doug, Rich, and Al. My parents went to great lengths to make sure all of us could attend college. Growing up in a house where things were not in excess, my parents sacrificed a lot, and in doing so made us feel they were giving us both the world in heart and in means. Truly, they were part of the greatest generation, and they taught me so much about sacrifice, endurance, perseverance, and hard work. My brothers, all in their unique way, contributed to who I became as a young man. And lastly, I want to give glory to my Savior, Jesus Christ. I know he's ultimately the author of my life, and I believe we truly are made for the times we're born into. In small moments of my collegiate sports career, it was about the gifts that God had given me, and therefore on stages like today, it's about him. Everything I did and everything about who I have become is because of who God is in my life. It's only by his love and his mercy and his grace that I'm up here tonight. Football and lacrosse were a great part of the story he has written for my life, and any successes on and off the field I owe to him, and he is gracious. And in coming to a close, there are a lot of great Division III programs out there, but Wittenberg is a very special place, and I will never forget how fortunate I was to attend school here. Finally, thank you to everyone on the committee for this honor, and it's something that my family and I will remember forever, and more for the people who have greatly invested in my life and in Sue's life to help shape us to who we are today. Thank you. Thank you. Great words. Great words. Thank you.
Next is Boo Vernon, class of 2011. There is one word that describes Boo, a native of Lake Bluff, Illinois, as a field hockey player, and that's elite. Boo is a top scorer in Wittenberg field hockey history, who led her teams to 3 North Coast Athletic Conference regular season titles. She also earned team MVP twice in her career. Boo ranks first in the program history for career goals with 80, second in career assists with 28, first in career points with 188. She is tied for first in program history for season goals with 26, tied for third in season assists with 12, and third in season points with 58. Boo picked up first team all-conference and first team all-regional awards in each of her 4 years at Wittenberg University. Boo was also NCAAC Newcomer of the Year in 2007, and she was named to the All-Conference All-Decade Team 2004-2013. The team leader in goals and total points in 3 of her 4 collegiate seasons, Boo was a 3-time third-team All-American, 2008, 2009, 2010. Please join me in welcoming Boo Vernon to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor.
I was encouraged by a teammate at the table tonight to try something a little different. So when I say tiger, you say up. Tiger. 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 It is an honor and privilege to be here. There are a lot of great people I need to thank, starting with my grandparents and my parents. I am lucky to have been able to participate in sport, but also attend this wonderful university. Thanks to them, I really learned a lot about having a work ethic. And I also had 2 brothers that were a competitive force that got me where I was when I was at Wittenberg. I also have wonderful coaches to thank that probably saw things in me before I did. One of them actually recruited me to Worcester and was unsuccessful, but ended up here for our senior year, and we were thrilled to have her for 1 year and thrilled to have her here tonight. And there are a lot of wonderful teammates that I had that made me better every day than the previous day. And I am fortunate enough to have a table full of them tonight. And this award is dedicated to them as well. So thank you. Thank you.
Great job. Next, we have Jackie Williams, HEYKA, class of 2009. Jackie, a native of Rocky River, Ohio, was an offensive force for the Tiger women's volleyball program at Wittenberg University. Wittenberg's 4-year record with Jackie attacking from the right side was a stunning 140-17, including a mark of 53-1 in NCAAC regular season competition. The Tigers won 3 NCAAC regular season titles and 3 conference tournament crowns in her 4 seasons at Wittenberg. Jackie's team competed in the NCAA Division III tournament in each of her 4 seasons, highlighted by 3 straight semifinal appearances from 2005 to 2007. Jackie earned first-team all-conference awards following each of her 4 seasons, including Player of the Year awards in 2007 and 2008. Jackie was also the Newcomer of the Year in 2005. Jackie was a 4-time All-Great Lakes Region honoree, including 3 first-team accolades, and she capped her career with a trio of All-American awards, including honorable mention in 2006 and second-team nods in 2007 and 2008. Jackie is still the career leader in attack percentage for both Wittenberg and the conference, NCAAC. Please join me in welcoming Jackie Williams, HEYKA, to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor.
All right, hello Tigers. This was a very unexpected, amazing surprise this year. I'm so happy and thankful to be here. Wittenberg will always hold a special place in my heart. When I think of Wittenberg volleyball, many words come to mind, including tradition, excellence, and dedication. The following was sent to me in a recruiting letter during my senior year of high school from Emily Dixon-Partika, who's over there in the pink. I would like to share with you the goal of the Wittenberg University volleyball team. While we all want to have the perfect undefeated season and be league champs, above all, Witt Volleyball wants to win a national championship. This statement in her letter is what solidified my decision to become a Tiger. I was lucky to play with some of the most talented and hardworking teammates that all worked toward the same goal daily of trying to win a national title. I also had wonderful coaches that expected greatness and pushed me outside my comfort zone to become a better player each year. Wonderful memories and friends were made at Wittenberg, and I'm blessed to have stayed in touch with so many teammates and friends throughout the years, many of them who are here tonight. Shout out to you all. Wittenberg is such a magical place, and I always say you won't understand it until you experience it yourself. My husband can attest to this statement after being my date to multiple Wittenberg weddings. Thank you to my family for their support throughout the years, especially my mom. Thank you, Wittenberg University, Wittenberg Athletics, my wonderful coaches, Paco Labrador and Brittany Schmidt, and a huge shout out and thank you to my amazing teammates. I cherish all the memories and look forward to creating many more memories with my Tigers. Once a Tiger, always a Tiger, and as always, Tiger up.
So let's go on to the next one. James Jim WYMER, class of 1977. Jim, a native of Toledo, Ohio, was a tremendous defensive back for the Tiger football team, including the 73 and 75 seasons that culminated with the NCAA Division III National Championship. Jim helped Wittenberg to records of 39-4-2 overall and a perfect 18-0 record en route of 4 straight Ohio Athletic Conference winning campaigns. In 1975, Jim was the team's most improved player and earned first-team All-OAC. Jim went on to pick up the Lutheran Brotherhood All-American Awards in 75 and 76. Jim's career culminated with an appearance in the 1976 All-Ohio Shrine Bowl at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Beginning in 2011, Jim served his alma mater as a member of the university's board of directors, and he chaired the real estate committee, what Bill Edwards talked about earlier, that oversaw the process of securing state and federal historic tax credits to assist the renovation of this building, the one over there, and the new one right back there called the Steamer. Could not thank Jim enough, and please join me in welcoming Jim WYMER to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor.
Thank you. I'm very honored with this recognition. First, I'd like to acknowledge my family here with me tonight, my love of my life, wife, Maria Zappis, class of 77, 45 years married. Our beautiful children, son Matthew, and my daughter Margot, who recently gave us our first grandchild, Wyatt James. I also thank my Wittenberg fellow board members and Springfield family for being here also to help me celebrate tonight. And I appreciate all your love and support. Tonight is very special for so many reasons. One, I would like to thank George Keene, who, he did come back in, for nominating me for this award. We both played in a 1975 defensive backfield that now boasts 3 of the 4 in this great Hall of Honor, me, George, and Doug Peck. The 4th member, Carl Lee, should join us. George was one of the best all-around athletes I ever played alongside. I'm also honored to share the stage with all the other distinguished awardees, and especially in recognition of our 1973 and 1975 national championship teams, which I was very fortunate to be a member of. Coincidentally, I learned and played behind another honoree tonight at TEAGUE, and that was a very special night. The 73 team, I was a freshman, taught me how to work hard and expect to win. The 75 team taught me how to win and excel at a level I never dreamed. It was quite a 4-year run, highlighted by Hall of Fame coaching. Started with Bill Edwards' grandfather, who had recently retired, and passed the baton on to Davey Maurer, who also became a Hall of Fame coach. And we had 2 other my defensive coaches, Ron Murphy and Bob Rosenkrantz, who eventually became Wittenberg head coaches. It was quite a coaching tree. I was honored to play alongside many great players, some of which previously enshrined, most of which should be enshrined. I'm also honored tonight because of the venue that we're celebrating in tonight, and I appreciate your comments, Bill, and Sean, your mention. It's a very special place to be honored in. It's a historic venue that came back to life with, again, as already discussed, historic tax credits And along with Wes Bates' support, a fellow board member, we built the steamer. Facilities that are unheard of in D3 and unparalleled. And I'm very proud to see what those tax credits and our efforts led to. My 12 years on the board, it's like 3 football careers, reinforced how special of a place this is. We continue to send off young adults into this world prepared to make it better. I've watched senior classes go through here in these 12 years, and I've never been more amazed with the quality of student that this university puts out. It's a tribute to the faculty, staff, and needs to be recognized and applauded by the alumni. You realize what a difficult financial terrain liberal arts, Midwestern liberal arts exist in, and we're certainly in continued murky waters. The Wittenberg cause and legacy are worth protecting. I'm probably echoing Mike Franson's words, but give till it hurts. Thank you for this wonderful honor, and again, I thank my family for all its love and support. Thank you.
Great meeting you. Now to our 2 Lifetime Achievement recipients. I'm really excited about this. These are going to be a little bit longer because they're lifetime. And when you hear their bios, it's really impressive, really impressive. First, Sandy DUKAT, class of 1994. Sandy, a native of Canton, Ohio, underwent a leg amputation above her knee at the age of 4. But that didn't stop Sandy from playing basketball, baseball, and high jumping on the track and field team in high school. Sandy made the U.S. disabled ski team in 2000 and captured 2 bronze medals while competing in 4 alpine events at the 2002 Paralympic Games. Sandy recorded 12 podium appearances during the 2003-2004 World Cup season and finished 5th in the overall World Cup points race, highlighted by 3 bronze medals at the 2004 World Championships in Austria. Sandy again was a member of the U.S. disabled ski team in 2005, winning her first Paralympic gold medal. Sandy was also a member of the U.S. disabled swim team, setting an American record in the 800-meter freestyle at the 1998 Disabled Swimming World Championships. After retiring from competition in 2007, DUKAT, along with 4 other women with disabilities, climbed Tanzania's Mount Kilimanjaro. In 2008, DUKAT won both the World Triathlon Championship in Vancouver, Canada, in the female above-the-knee amputee category, and the U.S. Disabled National Triathlon Championship. In 2009, she ran her first marathon and set a record for women competing in her category. Her time was 4 hours, 40 minutes, and 46 seconds. In 2010, in the Escape from Alcatraz Paratriathlon, DUKAT won her 4th straight U.S. Paratriathlon Nationals for the female above-the-knee amputee category. Her time was an astounding 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 6 seconds. Sandy's feats are truly amazing, and to me, they fall into the category you can do anything that you decide that you want to do. I'm so excited to introduce her tonight. I'm so excited to meet her. So please join me in welcoming Sandy DUKAT to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor. You inspire me.
Oh, you're welcome. I think the hardest part is that he wanted to end at 8:45, so that puts me on for 3 minutes.
No, we started 20 minutes late.
Oh, but you said 8:45. So, a couple things. Thank you. It is an honor, an incredible honor to be here. I just flew in from Denver, Colorado at 3 o'clock, and got in the car and drove over from Cincinnati, so it's been a whirlwind, but listening to my resume, there's a reason I'm tired. And so my question is, if you win the Lifetime Achievement Award, does that mean I can just stop now? Like, right? Is this my permission to finally relax? Because I sure don't know what that means. See, I was born with an instant hurdle. Nobody was prepared to have a child missing one of their bones in their legs. And at that time, in the 70s, there wasn't the ultrasounds and all the expertise that could advise your parents that your daughter is going to be born with a shortened leg. And I often think back to my parents, what that must have felt like when the doctors came in and said, I think there's something wrong with your daughter. Wrong, what a powerful, powerful word. But you can imagine, how is she going to grow up? How is she going to fit in? How is she going to be treated? What is she going to be successful as? And I can't imagine what my parents felt. But then they reminded themselves that they had 3 other children before me, and the only thing they could do was survive. And so I was thrown into the mix of everything. I have 2 older sisters and an older brother. There was no 10 seconds head start for Sandy. There was no slow down. It was either keep up or get out. And I appreciate that tough love because that taught me the mental toughness that I needed to succeed. However, it's not a one-time decision. You can't just say you're going to be strong and you're going to be tough and that magic wand appears and that's who you're going to be. This is an everyday challenge, and I faced that growing up on multiple playing fields. However, it was sports that gave me the freedom to be who I wanted to be and showcase my abilities. See, when I stepped out on that playing field, my disability disappeared. No matter about the laughs or the jokes on the sideline, I didn't care. Because what I cared about was being out there and playing hard. So after my time, living in Canton, by the strength of my parents and the gift they gave me, I was headed off to Wittenberg. I didn't come here to play sports. I came here to survive. I had no clue what was going to be in front of me, but once sports was taken from my life, I finally didn't know who I was. I didn't think I could play collegiate sports. I didn't think there was a place for me. You didn't hear about individuals with disabilities showing up on the playing field at the college level. So I slowly had to rediscover myself. I am a survivor, and I was going to do that, but I just didn't know how. It wasn't until my sophomore year of college when the community workshop said, you have 20 hours to dedicate time. And I thought that was an incredible opportunity to get involved. My mother's a social worker, and she taught me the gift of community from day one. And so I signed up to be a big sister in the program, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And little did I know that from 1995 until now, my little sister is still in my life, and she's sitting there at table 11, and her impact on my time at Wittenberg showed me what it was to succeed. She's overcome multiple brain tumors. She fought every day for her life. So if she could do it, I was going to fight for my place. And so I became super involved in the community workshop. And I went from the leadership of my family to the leadership of Deborah Dillon, who ran the community workshop at that time. Boy, did she set that bar high. There was not enough volunteering that you could do to make a difference. You could always do more. And so I learned that gift from her at school, but I also had a bigger lesson. She told me that several people were reaching out their hands to me during my time at Wittenberg, but I kept my blinders on and didn't see it. I was so worried about my disability and fitting in that I didn't open my heart to those who were there. So I don't have that same camaraderie that a lot of you have described up here with your teammates. But the biggest group that I have in my life are Wittenberg graduates from the class of 1994. They made an impact while I was at Wittenberg, but they are more valuable and instrumental in my life than they had a role here at Wittenberg. But that was my choice. I chose to stay closed. So if you would have told me while I was here at Wittenberg that I would have gone on to represent Team USA at the Paralympic Games, I probably would have laughed. First of all, I didn't even know the Paralympics existed until I moved to Chicago after Wittenberg. I joined the Lutheran Volunteer Corps that took me to Chicago, and I soon learned about the Paralympic Games from a group of older adults who were facing amputation due to mostly diabetes. And they're like, well, you say you're such a great athlete, why aren't you on the Paralympic stage? And I didn't know what that was. So at the age of 25, I decided that I was going to go out there and learn to ski and race simultaneously. And I've heard this before this evening. I remember calling my parents and telling them this great news of my new plan. And all of the encouragement came through the other end of that line. But then leave it to my mom to be so practical. Coming out from her end was, but you don't even know how to ski. And at that point, that was the least of my concerns. Because that mental tough was ignited. That light inside of me came on strong and shined through. So I went from never skiing to making the U.S. Disabled Ski Team in 2001 and representing our country both at 2002 and 2006 Paralympic Games. And we talked about 9/11. On March 11th of 2022, 6 months after 9/11, myself and two teammates swept the podium. There's nothing more beautiful than standing on a podium and watching 3 American flags rise in your honor representing our country. That time on that platform, standing there with that medal around my neck, gave me the time to reflect of all those individuals who impacted my life. From my family, to my friends, and to all of those naysayers that said, you can't do it. The judgments, the preconceptions, the misunderstandings, those lit my fire. So I'm here to say today, I'm not going to stop. Just because I'm accepting this award at 51, I'm going to continue to climb mountains and show up every day. Next week, I leave for Grand Canyon. I'm hiking the Rim to Rim Trail, a 26-mile trail. And I love this having light. I never knew how much this motto would play, having light and passing it on to others, because that is what I'm doing. I'm continuing to show what people in the disability community can do. And I'm going to leave you with this. Bravery is not a one-time decision. It's an everyday choice. When you wake up tomorrow, you get to decide who you want to be. I encourage you to choose bravery. I encourage you to find humor and grit every day of your life. I appreciate this honor. I am so thankful to be here, and I will continue to represent Wittenberg in the best way that I can. Thank you. Thank you.
Our last individual honoree tonight is Dr. Timothy KREMCHEK, class of 1981. Tim was inducted in 2021 to the Wittenberg Hall of Honor, but was unable to attend. So tonight, we want to honor Tim. I'm excited about this. Tim arrived at Wittenberg with dreams of becoming a professional baseball player. 4 years later, he was on a path to becoming one of the most accomplished orthopedic surgeons in the United States. In the years since, Tim has played a central role in the care and rehabilitation of hundreds of Tiger student athletes in his role as team orthopedist for Wittenberg University. Tim also spearheaded fundraising efforts to renovate the athletic training facilities at Wittenberg, and in recognition of his leadership role and financial contributions, the original training room in the Health Wellness Athletics Complex is named in his family's honor, and it should be. Tim is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon who is fellowship trained in sports medicine. He is an orthopedic surgeon and founding member of Beacon Orthopedics with offices throughout Southwest Ohio. After graduating from the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine in 1986, Tim accepted an internship in general surgery at the Good Samaritan Hospital. He went on to complete his residency at Tufts University in Boston, Massachusetts. Tim also served as chief resident at the famed New England Baptist Hospital and completed a fellowship at the renowned Andrews Institute for Orthopedics and Sports Medicine in Birmingham, Alabama. Tim also has served as medical director for the Cincinnati Reds and their minor league baseball affiliates since 1996. He also partners with many NFL teams and is the team physician for Wilmington College, Morehead State University, and Wittenberg University. Tim also serves as medical director for numerous high schools across Southwest Ohio, including his alma mater of Cincinnati Moeller. Tim treats professional athletes from a variety of sports and at all levels of competition. He has performed Tommy John surgery on dozens of Major League Baseball pitchers, as well as many minor league and college ball players. A native of Cincinnati, Tim currently resides in Indian Hills, Ohio, with his wife, Hillary. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Tim KREMCHEK to the Wittenberg University Hall of Honor. Great to finally meet you.
I got a hug?
Yeah.
You put me after Sandy? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Incredible. First of all, I want to congratulate all the honorees. What a great honor for all of them. Athletes, I mean, the credentials are incredible. You know, and this is something I never expected, to get on the Hall of Honor at Wittenberg University. It's a very special place. I was sleeping one night a couple of years ago, and Brian calls me and tells me, hey, by the way, you've got elected to the Hall of Honor. I was asleep, thank you. It was a short conversation, wow. I turned around to Hillary and said, I started 2 years in baseball. My last year I hit .293 with 1 home run. Boy, those standards must be low. I mean, holy cow. But you know, I came to Wittenberg to be a baseball player. I'll never forget it. You know, I'm at Indian Hill. I wanted to come up here. I wanted to play baseball. I'm working out all summer, playing baseball, running, doing all this. I come up, and I'm running on the track. And I'm running on the track from late August to November. And I'm running, and I'm like moving. And I'm running 4 laps. I'm calling home. Finally, Coach Ron Murphy said to me, you know that's 5 laps to a mile, don't you? I said, oops, I guess I'm not in that great a shape. But you know, Wittenberg, it's done a lot of things for me. It's really, it molded me academically, socially. It allowed me to continue my relationship with my then girlfriend, wife, Hillary, who's an '82 grad, and we've been married for over 40 years, 41 years in March. And the best thing that ever happened to me. My children, my grandchildren, I want them to understand what Wittenberg is. Now, when I showed up for baseball, I'll never forget, and I'm glad, I want to say hi to George Keane. He was a senior. He was a catcher, and he walked around with his Montreal Expos, I'll never forget it, his bag. And I'm standing at first base, right behind here, in that old field where the baseball field was, and all of a sudden there's this big man that comes up to me. His name was George Jackson. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and they had come off a national championship basketball team, and he looked at me and he said, you gonna take my place here at first base? And I looked at him and said, I don't really think so, no. And he said, that's all right. He goes, I'm gonna call you Big Boog. You're left-handed, you're Boog Powell. So for the last 30 years, George Jackson and I, and we have become very good friends, I recognize the type of athlete that went to Wittenberg. And a lot of people think Division III school, the athletes aren't that great. They are great athletes. They might be one tick below Division I, but as you saw tonight, incredible athletes. But what I loved most about Wittenberg is how they embraced me. I ended up here, I wanted to be a baseball player. I had a 2.2 grade point average going into my sophomore year. Had no idea what I wanted to do. But the professors here, the professors at the science building, the administration, were so supportive, so nurturing. Hillary came here from DePaul, and it was a great experience. I was a member of the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity, got my grades going, but I will tell you, I struggled, and I studied hard. Organic chemistry, no problem. Chemistry, no problem. And I took a course, I figured it would be a blow-off course. It was coaching track and field and coaching basketball. Well, track and field, Ron Murphy, Hillary was in my class. She kept running around, and he was enamored of how fast she was. She didn't care about me. We go to the second 5 weeks, and Coach Larry Hunter was the basketball teacher. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to blow by this. So Larry says, go on out, and I want you to scout a high school team. Well, I had no idea. I never played basketball. I didn't know how to scout a high school team. He came back, he said, is this Chinese? What is this? I have no idea what this is. He goes, okay, let's go out to the basketball court. I'm going to teach you the slide step. He was big on the slide step. I didn't know how to do the slide step. And he said, all right, shoot a basketball. And I would shoot a basketball, and it wouldn't turn backwards, which it had to do. He said, you can never miss left, can never miss right. You should always be straight on. Well, I couldn't get the basketball to turn backwards. So I'm pre-med, behind the 8 ball, 2.2, killing it in the science department. He calls me into his office, and Larry had these pants that were always too short for him. And he scared the hell out of me. And he looked at me and said, son, I know you're trying hard, but I think you're going to flunk coaching basketball. I said, I'm killing organic chemistry, I'm dying every night, and I'm going to flunk coaching basketball? That's a trick. He finally came around, and it was terrific. But you know, that experience and what I did here and what the people did for me at Wittenberg and how I got into medical school made me decide that when I got finished with my training, I wanted to come back and give back. I wanted to be involved with the Wittenberg Tigers. I wanted to be involved with the development. And when I started here, it was all, and the guys will remember this, it was all Doc Edmond. Doc Edmond was a basketball player, general surgeon in Springfield, but again, it was outdated. And we started and we built the training room. We built it to concierge service for the players. And with the help of administration, I want to give Mike an awful lot of credit. He's been supportive of all of this, to the training rooms, to physical therapy, everything we can do to keep the student athletes going. And we continue to do it every year. And we wanted to be the pride back then of the OAC, Division III, and a lot of the schools followed us for what we did to take care of our athletes, and hundreds of athletes. And I want to thank Ellen Wilson. Ellen is our head trainer. I hired her 25 years ago. She's still here. We're developing the athletic training department, our facilities at the training room, the physical therapy. The athletes want for nothing. And this has been emulated by Denison, Capital, DePaul, Wabash. You go down the road, and we're still, I think, from that standpoint, a state of the art. So I want to thank everybody that's involved with this. I'm extraordinarily proud to be a Wittenberg Tiger. I don't come up here every day, but I certainly watch it on social media every day. Very proud of what they're doing academically, athletically, socially, and the kids that I've been able to take care of, and they come back after they've graduated with their kids. You're 100% right. They're very, very accomplished. They're great people, which is a tribute to everybody here who works hard in academics with Wittenberg University. So this is a great honor. I want to say thank you very much. I want to especially thank my wife, Hillary, who's the best thing that ever happened to me and my family. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Good job.